Good evening, everyone. Chris Schultz here with FridayNightVictors.com. We're in Gary Hoff's basement again. Gary, how you doing today?
Doing great. It's a wonderful Sunday, rainy, but the practice field should be nice and sloppy tomorrow for the remaining teams, but they're still happy to be playing, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's beautiful weather. Anyways, we decided we were going to do a Week 2 playoff wrap-up show. And we had 3 games that basically we had on the docket this week. I had the bonus game of Richard and Madison, but I don't think we're going to talk about that tonight. Let's talk about the teams we cover.
Sure.
First of all, let's go to the on Saturday afternoon, Ida. The Blue Streaks having a great year, traveled over to the Muskrats of Algonac and played in the Swamp. They came away on the short end of a 24-16 decision. Any thoughts on Ida and what they accomplished this year?
Yeah, big Frank was out there, Vashner, he was out there sending me texts of the game. From what I gathered, Algonac kind of controlled the game a little bit. They stopped the run for the most part, and Ida had to throw the ball. Some were saying Ida needed to throw it a little bit more to possibly win the game, but
teams don't do that a lot of the T, though.
No, they're not. You're not used to it. You don't want to. You got to be who you are and live with it. But
well, that was a game you picked Algonac to win. I had picked Ida. The one thing I could tell from that game, and maybe the same thing last year when the two teams played, is Algonac has a really good defense.
Yes. Yeah, that's they hang their hat on their defense, and they were really good defensively last year. I think last year's team was better than this year's, and same for Ida. So
yeah, I would agree with that.
So they kind of, but they met last year in the kind of the same situation. They had to travel all the way to Algonac and play a very good Algonac team who ended up losing the next week to Grand Rapids West Catholic, who's maybe one of the best programs, definitely one of the best programs in the entire state of Michigan. They lost that game 16-0. So Algonac was very good last year. This year, both teams were not quite as where they were last year, but Ida just, I think what we need to talk about is the expectations we had for Ida and how they exceeded those expectations. And like you said on the blog, they didn't, they reloaded.
They really did. They just reloaded, and they had 3 returning linemen, but that was really it as far as starters. And they were able to, under a new coach, first-year coach, Jeff Potter, who's a Monroe Jefferson graduate, came from Temperance Bedford, where he was an assistant over there, and they had nothing but success. He found some running backs. The T has a way, and I know I always like to be critical of it, but a T has a way of leveling the playing field when it comes to games. But it was a great season by Ida, and I think we can fully expect more of the same, really.
I mean, when you take it into consideration the graduation loss and first-year coach, and to make it to a district final, and you end up 8-3.
8-3, I believe it was. Yes.
That's an outstanding season.
Yep.
Really, when you take into all the consideration, when they lost so many kids and a first-year coach, boy, that was an excellent season for Ida.
It really was. All right, let's jump into the game that you called for 98.3 Nash Icon, and that was the St. Mary Catholic Central Falcons come up with the 1916 road victory over
Warriors.
Hudson. Tell us a little bit about the game.
Yeah, Coach Kipp at the end of the game, every coach kind of says his piece, and Coach Kipp referred to SMCC as the Road Warriors, and that's how you have to look at it, and that's how you have to think of yourselves, because every game's going to be on the road, from game 10 and all the way to hopefully game 14. But SMCC, everyone, at least that I talked to, thought it was going to be a close game. Well, there were some people out there that thought Hudson would win by 3 touchdowns.
And we both picked CC to win this game.
Yeah, and it was it went about how we thought. Either team could have won the game. I thought CC played better. I thought they were better. If you look at the Hudson coming off the bus, you're thinking, boy, we're in big trouble. And that's kind of what I thought. Big kids, 230, 240, 280, 280. That's our offensive line.
Yeah.
And these weren't fat kids. These were, for lack of a better term, these were big kids, strong kids.
Right.
And they could move. And of course, their backs, Malik Ray, All-State last year.
But the Falcons were able to contain him.
Yeah, they did. He held him, I want to say 14 carries for 41 yards. So that's definitely containing him.
But on the other side, Colin Wolford had the big game for the Falcons.
You're right. He, I want to say 25 carries for 170 yards.
That's a lot of carries for a Falcon player. They normally don't carry the ball that much.
No, they rode the senior. Coach Kipp just put his playbook down and said, we're riding our senior. The last drive to go ahead, it was 16-16. SMCC took over at about their 20 with about 5 minutes left or so, 6 minutes. And they had to drive the length to try to score, and they did just that. And they ran to the left side. They put the sophomore, Sam Cousineau, in the wing position. So they ran a wing tee on the left side because that end was crashing so hard and it was stopping the power play. So they put the wing there to cut that guy off a little quicker. And Cousineau, if you know him, 6'1", 200 pounds, right. Sophomore, just lead blocking, and Wolford would just go right behind him essentially. And they were just churning out 4 or 5 yard gains the whole time. So Coach Kipp said, I'm going with my senior, win or lose, and he did exactly that. And I think that was the adjustment of the game right there. So great move by Coach Kipp.
And the Falcons with basically, what was it, an extra point to win the game, basically on that short field goal with 2 seconds left?
Yeah, Coach used his timeouts effectively, got down to about the 15-yard line or so. It was about a 32-yard field goal.
Okay.
I've heard 30 or 31, 32, somewhere in there. And called the timeout. There was about 1.7 seconds left. And Hudson didn't call a timeout. They had all their timeouts. I thought they would ice the kicker. Didn't do it. Great snap by Blanchett. Great hold by who else? Colin Wolford. And great kick by Bergmoser straight down the middle.
Victory for SMCC.
Bedlam ensued. I can't remember the last time, if it ever happened, that SMCC's won a playoff game on a last-second field goal.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
not
happened.
what they do. No. But after missing the playoffs last year, another district title for the Falcons. Well, great victory.
I feel really happy for Coach Kipp. He had to fight off a lot. He probably doesn't listen to it, but he had to fight off a lot of criticism early in the season, 1-3. The loss to Flat Rock was, although Flat Rock is very good, I think SMCC felt that they just didn't play well. And I know they had a long talk after that, if you read the papers, and they turned the season around at that point and played. They've been playing great ever since then.
Yeah, and now they're looking at a regional game in Madison Heights against Madison, who's one of the top teams in Division 7.
Oh, definitely.
So with that, let's hop over to our other game that we had, which was the game I was at, and that was the Riverview Pirates traveled over to Gibraltar Carlson. Yeah. And I think there was much anticipation for this game. I know we had been saying throughout the season that we thought Riverview could play with Carlson, and quite frankly, Riverview took them out to the woodshed. It was a 38-14 victory. The Pirates rushed for over 400 yards. Their best player goes out of the game in the second quarter with a broken collarbone. He's a guy, Cam Rogers, leading tackler for them. He's also their leading rusher. They didn't slow down. They just simply seized the moment. And, Carlson has a very, very good team, but their 2 touchdowns basically came on, I don't want to say broken plays, but, Jalen Franklin from his quarterback position extended the play and made a pass. One was kind of an outlet pass, and the kid managed to go 60 yards, weave his way in and out. And then the other one, he bought some time scrambling, and his receiver got open in the end zone. Other than that, it was all Riverview. And the one thing I noticed from the game, and then I'll let you comment on it, was Riverview was extremely physical. The same team we've seen since after the Flat Rock game, to where they just say, okay, we're going to line up and punch you in the face. And quite frankly, Carlson couldn't do anything about it.
Right.
Thoughts?
No, I've seen Riverview play one time, and that's against SMCC. And I think the same team showed up last Friday that showed up at Navarre Field in that early season demolishing of my Falcons. So I know exactly what you saw. I know exactly what you're talking about. They're a rugged group of kids. I mean, really, they are rugged. Their coach, the coaching staff, they just got this team playing as a group, as a unit. Cam Rogers is probably the best player, but they have a lot of good players.
They have a lot of good players, a lot of good senior players. Yeah. They have some good underclassmen, but they have a lot of good senior players.
Yeah.
I do want to mention something. I had the opportunity. One of the players that I thought stood out during the entire game was Zach Warlick. He was playing the fullback position, but he was also playing nose guard for Riverview. And I had a chance to talk to him after the game, and this is no disrespect to this young man, but I was amazed at how small he was. I'm a fairly big guy, but I was talking to him, and it was like, this little guy just plays with so much heart because he dominated the game, I thought, from his position defensively. He just created headaches for the Marauders. And then offensively, he had a 59-yard touchdown run to once he got through the line, trap play. Right? He outran everybody. And now he was just a kid that stood out along with many. I thought the Wood kid Wood, the quarterback from Riverview, no disrespect the other way, was the best quarterback on the field too. Yeah, he had some plays as well, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, that's saying a lot, yeah. And I alluded to that last week. I said Wood could be the X factor in this. He's good too.
He's just fast enough.
Yeah.
He's just tough enough. He just does a lot of things. So, anyways, that's our wrap-up show. We want you to look for previews this week. We're going to do a preview of the Riverview at Divine Child game. We will also have a preview of the SMCC at Madison Heights, Madison. Closing thoughts, Gary?
It's really three great games. If you could talk Ida, they played well. They lost, but they played well. That's not an easy place to go up there and play, from Ida to Algonac. Not easy to do, and great performance. SMCC, outstanding win. Congratulations to the Falcons. Game-winning field goal. You just got to feel so happy for Coach Kip. And Riverview, they put the question to bed, who was the better team this year, Riverview or Carlson. You were there, I wasn't, but it was pretty easy to see by what you saw. The best team was Riverview.
There was no question who the better team was.
Yeah, congratulations to the Pirates.
So, right. With that, everyone, have a good night. Chris and Gary for FridayNightVictors.com.